Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Matt Chat. It's a show on Going In Raw channel where we debate and discuss the hot topics in the world of wrestling.
Yeah.
Past, present, and future. And of course, these are all topics that are brought to our attention by our patrons. $20 and up.
Yes.
At patreon.com/Steven Larson. You too can be part of the Matt Chat show. Get your video on the show.
I can be part of Matt Chat?
Yes. If you're a $20 patron, you could submit your question via video form, and then you can then answer that question.
Maybe I'll do that.
Maybe you should do that. Maybe I should do it. I'll submit my own questions for us to debate.
We both do it. That's $40 more a month we're making.
We lose out on a little bit of that as the Patreon fee. So, and money comes back to us. So essentially, you're just giving Patreon a little bit of money, and then.
No, I guess we won't have any questions on our own show.
It's a bad idea. Yeah, it's a bad idea.
It might be clever. Is being clever once worth a couple bucks?
No, it's not. Because it's not really that clever. Who's our first video question? Who's our first Matt Chatter today, Larson?
Fair Thabata.
All right, why don't we roll that clip?
Is Vince McMahon really that bad of a booker?
Fair Thabata, always good for a short question.
That might be the shortest.
I think he got one under 4 seconds, like a 3-second one. But
Wow.
that's pretty short, 4 seconds. His question, succinct, direct, to the point. Is Vince really that bad of a booker?
He might be now.
Here's the thing. In a macro sense, in terms of how he books his company,
Large.
it's hard to argue with the success that he's achieved.
Yeah.
They sell out WrestleManias, even when on a micro level, the creative is not good.
Yeah.
They just made a crap ton of money on 2 new television contracts, again, when the creative isn't that good.
Yeah.
So in terms of how he packages, books his entire promotion, he's done something right because everybody, like WWE has never been more covered on the mainstream level
Yeah.
than it is now.
Yeah.
They're making a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
And, fans like us can pick apart the intricacies of the creative or lack thereof, because sometimes there's zero intricacies to the creative.
Yeah.
It's like this blunt force creative.
That's basically what it is.
But on the macro level, it's hard to argue with at least the business strategy of the company.
Yeah, I agree with that. In terms of a promoter, like you said, on the macro level, he is probably the best ever because his company is the biggest wrestling company ever.
And still around, unlike most wrestling companies that have existed in the history of the industry.
So he's probably the best, but if you look at like you said, the actual creative and the minutia of it, it's not good.
For the
not
most part.
good.
I mean, we've heard repeatedly about Vince's lack of vision, his fickleness, his tendency to change things on the fly, on a whim, regardless of how it may affect the long-term storylines for various wrestlers. He seems to consider none of that. It seems to be a week-by-week deal.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that's just not good storytelling.
Yeah.
There's times where you hear about movies that go into production without a finished script.
Yeah.
Most of the times it's a train wreck. Every once in a while you get something like Casablanca, which is a classic, even though they started shooting the movie without a finished script.
Yeah.
It's possible. However, unless you know where the story is going to go before you start the story, odds are you're going to get lost in between your beginning and end.
What year did Casablanca come out? 41?
40, yeah, that sounds right.
That was that was almost 80 years ago. Holy crap.
77, yeah.
Wowie, wow. Anyways. Yeah. I mean, it all depends on your definition of booker. Like, if they took Vince McMahon and they plunked him down in some, rinky-dink promotion, would his style of booking work?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But for everything, for every probably 3 or 4 things WB Creative gets wrong, they booked Braun Strowman pretty much perfectly.
Yeah, they do right.
Since they brought him over to Raw, separated him from the Wyatt family.
They do good things.
Yeah, every once in a while they do really good things. Braun Strowman's a perfect example of something they've gotten right pretty much across the board.
Yeah.
There may be a handful of minor missteps, but by and large, they have booked him perfectly.
Yeah. Next up, we've got a video question from
Christian!
Hey, Steve. Hey, Larson. It is the Hall of Famer and champion, Christian, here with the Matt check question. In honor of this belt that I have on my shoulder and the world champion Washington Nationals, my question to you guys is, what is the greatest title reign of all time? Again, other than mine. Too sweet and a hearty handshake.
Thank you, Christian. I'll go first.
All right.
The greatest title reign ever is obviously Bruno Sammartino. It was the longest. One of them was like, what, 7.5 years, 8 years?
Almost 8 years,
It was
yeah.
like crazy.
2,400 days.
Longest. That dude like sold out a lot of buildings, and he was just the best. It's like freaking 8 years, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's a long
the
reign. It's
best.
a different era, though. That's the territory
So,
days, man.
Yeah, it's probably harder to do stuff back then.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
Kazuchika Okada had what I'm going to say is the greatest reign ever, almost 800 days, and it wasn't just the length of his reign. He put on incredible matches. Every title defense. I've actually never seen any of Bruno's title defenses because I don't know how they measure up.
Oh, man, they're epic. 7-star matches across the board.
Well, as far as I know, the only 7-star match was when Okada lost the belt
Dave
to
Meltzer
Omega.
wasn't alive back in 1943 when Bruno Sammartino began his run.
None of that is true. You have no idea what you're talking about. None.
Well,
Without question, the greatest title reign in modern wrestling history, like from the 80s, is Okada. Without question. Because every title defense was a fantastic match. He had 3 of the greatest matches in wrestling history during the course of his title run.
Did he sell out buildings the way Bruno did?
It's a different time, man.
You can't just say that. He had a different time.
Of course I can
what
say
does
that.
matter?
The wrestling industry is vastly different now in 2018
Well,
than
of
it was in
course it is.
1968.
But that's not Bruno's fault. You
I'm
can't
not
blame
blaming
Bruno for
I'm not
that.
blaming Bruno for that.
Well, there you go then. Bruno's the best. 8 years selling out Madison Square Garden every single night. He would sell that out like 3 nights in a row. What the heck? Who wants to see a boring-ass 40-minute match 3 nights in a row?
I do.
Everybody did back then because he was Bruno. They thought it was real. That was
Okada.
freaking Bruno.
I'm surprised you didn't say
8 years.
Orville Brown.
I don't know. I don't even think it's a real person.
It is. Orville Brown's the real
Oh, no,
person.
Orville Brown. Farmer Brown wasn't the real person.
Yeah.
It was some other farmer.
Farmer Burns.
Farmer Burns.
That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. I made up my own wrestler.
No, it's Okada, man.
It's
Okada.
Bruno. It's
Okada has
absolutely
easily had the
Bruno.
greatest modern title
Modern,
run.
yes.
And then
The question wasn't modern.
no, I understand that, but you take into account just the awesome quality of his matches during his title reign. It's hard to top that.
Okada versus Bruno.
The only
Who
person,
wins?
Okada. The
No,
only person,
Bruno wins.
as far as I'm aware, the only person, and Meltzer said this several times.
Okada can't even get to the freaking ring now. He's so traumatized from what little baby Jay White did to him the other
No,
day.
he's traumatized because he lost his beloved IWGP Heavyweight
He
title
didn't
belt.
seem traumatized in the 3 matches I saw since he lost his title.
He seemed different, however.
He was chill. He was relaxed. He didn't get nervous about going to the ring until Jay White whooped his ass and took the reins of chaos.
Well, Jay
It's
White
Jay White's chaos
found the
now.
cracks in the foundation and started hammering away during their match at the G1.
Fine. Bruno wins.
No,
Next
Okada
up,
wins.
Zach S. Zach S. Let's see what he has to say.
What's good, Stephen Larson? Many friendos out there. It's your official friendo versus IWGP Heavyweight Champ Zach Hess coming at you with another match act question. Question this week is: has the Asuka Cup, looking back and looking at what happened with her on main roster, has it been a success? Person saying yes tells when it did become a success and how it has become a success. And person saying no tells that how it has not been a success and tells what you would do from now till next WrestleMania you would do to make her a success on main roster. Thanks, boys.
Thank you, Zach S.
Thank you, Zach S.
Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Going in Raw Hall of Famer, Zach S.
So he asked more or less.
Did you see you wearing that Slayer shirt?
Yeah, it's a handsome looking shirt.
This is a
You
great
did a great
shirt,
job
man. You can
designing
get
that,
this- You can
Steve.
get this right now at thefriendomarket.com. Anyways, go ahead.
More or less, is Asuka's main roster run thus far been a success?
No.
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 I don't know how anybody
man.
can say yes.
No. Does she have the? Let me ask him. Does she have the title? Should she have the title?
Oh, yeah.
Has she been beaten?
Several times.
Should she have been beaten?
I can maybe justify once, but not 3 times. No.
Right. Right. Maybe once.
Maybe once, but not 3 times. No.
In a main event match against Charlotte. In a main event match against Charlotte is how it should have gone down. A year from this past April.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it should have gone down. I get the idea that in order to book her properly, you have to have her take a
well,
loss.
just in table and to be able to give her storyline options, I guess was the idea to so you don't have this dominant force just ruling over the SmackDown Women's division for the foreseeable future. I kind of understand that. Nonetheless,
I don't get it. Paige puts James Ellsworth in a shark cage, which completely ends up working the other way because that dude started just throwing weapons down.
I kind of thought that was going to happen anyways.
Well, no, I know.
To a degree.
I get that. But at the same time, like, what? She doesn't get a rematch? Like, Asuka, come on.
Oh, yeah, now it looks like Becky Lynch is be taking on Carmella at SummerSlam.
Man. It should be Becky Lynch versus Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the competition? They do this. They've done this thing before where they use and I like Carmella. I think as a character, she's fantastic.
Yeah, she's been doing great character work.
She's not a good wrestler. She's not a great wrestler. She's not even really a good wrestler. They do this thing, and they've done it before. Like they did it with Naomi before, and I like Naomi as much as I like Carmella. She's a really good character. Lots of charisma, decent wrestler. The thing about Naomi is that her moveset is unique to her, and I appreciate that. But she's not a storyteller like Becky Lynch, Asuka, Charlotte, Bayley, or Sasha Banks, and Carmella isn't even close to any of that. But they do this thing with the women's division. I noticed they do this especially. They used to do this with the men's division with the IC title or the US title. They put a title on somebody to try to make them into something bigger as opposed to wait till they're bigger and then put the title on.
And then reward them essentially with the title.
And I can't stand it.
Yeah, I know.
And if you look long term, I guess it kind of worked with Naomi because they can say she's foreign, but her standing right now isn't really all that different than it was before she had the title.
No. And if you look at it in a historical context, how many people actually benefited from having a belt put on them to elevate them up the card versus putting a belt on someone after they've already elevated themselves up the card.
All they're doing is just wasting time. That's all they're doing.
I know.
So, hopefully Becky will win it back at SummerSlam because it seems like that's going to be the match. And somebody who actually deserves it will have it. And then maybe Becky will drop it to Asuka in a match that is what we all deserve to see, a killer match. Mm-hmm. So, no, it's been terrible. I'm not going to say it's been terrible.
It hasn't been very good, though.
It just has. They haven't treated her, I'll put it this way, they haven't treated her like,
I'll say this.
A mid-carder.
No. The period of time between the Rumble and Mania when Asuka was still on Raw, and they had her pretty much take on everybody in the Raw women's division. She was putting on really good matches every week.
Yeah.
That has been probably the high point of her run thus far.
Yeah. People still view her as scary, and that's good. Mm-hmm. They haven't buried her.
No.
But it hasn't been the way it really should have been. If I was Triple H and I had fears about her coming to the main roster, those fears have been realized because it really took them no time at all to just make her another member of the roster.
To take the most dominant champion in NXT history, and as you said, make her just another member of the WWE main roster.
Yep.
And it's a bummer.
Yeah, it is a drag. It's a bummer. Next up. Oh, young Liam is back. He is reborn.
He is reborn.
As awkward as ever.
Yes, let's see what young Liam has to say.
Oh, hello, friendos. It's me, young Lion reborn. Here, returning to give you guys the gloryfulness of Matt Chat. Now, Adam Cole. We all love Adam Cole. We love the Undisputed Era. It's true. But who else in the Undisputed Era has the potential to even come close to the success that Adam Cole, baby, will have on the main roster? I give you these options. Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. The choice is yours.
Man, I'll say this about young Liam, though. That freaking head of hair on him, that's something to be jealous about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them kids in their great hair.
I'll go first.
Okay.
It's Roderick Strong.
Okay. Tell us why.
He's probably the best in-ring wrestler of anybody in Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You've spoken highly in the past, and I agree with you about his selling ability.
Yeah.
He's quick. He's athletic. He's super strong.
Yeah.
He's got it all. He's got a very distinct style with his implementation of backbreakers and emphasis on backbreakers.
Yeah, but what's the best thing about him? Flying knee.
Oh, the flying knee where he takes out two people with one flying knee. It's great. From a wrestling standpoint, I think he is the strongest member of Undisputed Era. The knock on him with us was always his personality, his character work. Now that he has turned heel, now that his heel turn is undisputed, I think his character work is outstanding. He fits right in with everybody else. The little asides he drops during their group promos are great. Right now, I have no questions about his ability to be a strong character so long as he maintains this current trajectory. And if Adam Cole wasn't a leader of Undisputed Era, put Roderick Strong in that spot, it'd still be pretty solid. It's Roderick Strong.
It'd be solid. Here's my concern. My concern is this. What if they try to pull like a Bobby Roode thing with him, where they bring him up to May? Number one, Undisputed Era should never break up.
Never.
Ever. They should dominate for the next 20 years.
Yes.
My only concern is at some point, if they do break up the Undisputed Era, which should never happen.
Should never happen.
Roderick Strong will either go back to being a face, in which case his wrestling, nobody's wrestling is ever good enough to overcome bad creative from WWE, because it can be pretty bad sometimes.
Yes.
And so I feel like he'll just be another good hand. You know what I mean? So that is my concern with Roderick Strong. He works so well right now because he's with guys who are obviously his best friends. They are heels. They get the joy of playing bad guys, and it fits him perfectly because it looks like the dude is having fun. So we have fun.
Yes.
I'm going to go in a different route. I'm going to say Redragon. I'm going to say Kyle O'Reilly and the old-timey guy, Bobby Fish. I think their upside is higher simply because, number one, they're an elite level tag team. They have been for a long time now. In a company where tag team wrestling is not at its strongest right now.
No.
There's a lot of comedy acts. Raw is a really, really bad sort of... There are no prominent tag teams. We actually saw a really prominent tag team in the in a fairly recent history, and that was Thebar. I think Thebar was a fantastic tag team.
Not even on TV anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Although I imagine they're going to do something big with them soon. The Usos are great. The New Day are great. They're elite tag teams. Bludgeon Brothers I could do without.
Here's the thing, though. In terms of their tag team chemistry, their in-ring ability, probably the best analogy I can think of to Redragon, not in terms of stylistics, but in terms of how they operate as a team, is the Revival. Look what happened to Revival when they got called man. They got a hot start. They beat New Day at their debut. Of course, injuries probably sidetracked their push if it was going to happen. Nonetheless, Revival's not even hardly ever utilized these days.
Yeah, but I honestly think, as we've seen with Kyle O'Reilly, just through sheer force of character, he can get over. With his little funny facial expressions, with his air guitaring, that kind of stuff. And honestly, I'm not sure beyond that what I can say. I do think there's I think the history of Redragon, and I know they're Red Dragon, I like calling them Redragon. I think their history, their legacy in the independent scene, I think that also gives them an extra bump over the Revival. I don't see them going down that. They have too much history. They're too good. I think, because I'll put it this way, I would never see them doing that with War Raiders. And I put War Raiders right there with Red Dragon. I really do. I don't see them doing that with them. They're too good. And although, look, I love the Revival and I think they're fantastic, their gimmick might be hampering them a bit. The old school thing, you know?
And I even hesitate to call that a proper gimmick. That's more just their packaging.
Yeah, but they always talk. Like, when they get a chance to talk, that's what they talk about.
Yeah, sometimes.
And so, I don't know. They've got that. I wonder, I have no idea this is truth. No idea. You know, Vince is weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? Which one is it? Number one, aren't they a bit on the short side?
Who?
Revival. They're no more tall or short than
Redragon. No, they're all about 5'10", 5'11".
But the bald guy, he's getting kind of Hoss-ish.
He's always been that way.
He's always been that way. I wonder if that's. Look.
If anything,
you can shrug it off if you want, but you know how weird Vince is.
Yeah, no, I think if anything,
you think Vince wouldn't look at that and say, "Why doesn't that guy have better abs?" You think he wouldn't say that?
Well, he might, but
he would.
If anything stifled their push, if it was going to happen, I think primarily be the injury concerns.
Yeah, and here's another thing though. I don't think they're Triple H guys.
Oh, I don't know.
I will guarantee you, Red Dragon are Triple
probably.
H guys, and that kind of matters.
Not so much on the main roster.
Who did Triple H bury in that episode of Raw 25? The Revival.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm telling you, man. Red Dragon or Triple H guys. The entire Undisputed Era
probably.
is a group that Triple H wants to be a part of.
Go back to the state of things in main roster tag division. It's not very good.
No, it's not.
And there's not a whole lot of emphasis, especially on Raw, being put on tag team wrestling in any sort of serious manner. SmackDown's better.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be better yet if, whenever the titles get off Bludgeon Brothers and onto New Day or Usos or someone. Not to say that Bludgeon Brothers do bad work in the ring. They serve their function as giant monster heels, and they do it pretty well. It just doesn't necessarily make for the most exciting matches. You go back to the New Day Uso feud, which was fantastic across the board. Match after match after match was excellent. And that's the kind of tag team wrestling I like to see.
Yeah.
So the potential is there for Redragon to step into the pool of teams on SmackDown and succeed greatly. I just don't have a whole lot of confidence in Crea's ability to do that because, say, Undisputed Era breaks up, Redragon gets sent to SmackDown, and they say, all right, Kyle O'Reilly, you do MMA stuff, so go back to kind of what you were doing in Ring of Honor and take yourself super seriously.
Oh, I don't know about that. Number one, I don't think they'd break him up when they send him to Maine. I really don't.
Oh, I hope not.
I mean, I would think they just released a second merch shirt for them.
Mm-hmm.
That has to mean something, right?
Well, it means they're sticking around NXT for a little bit.
Well, yeah, but how many people have had 2 merch shirts in NXT?
Nakamura, Aleister Black. Don't know if Finn did.
Finn probably did. He had the Demon and regular Finn. Of course, I think he did.
Joe had one.
These days, though.
Yeah, not very often. They're super popular. Everybody loves Undisputed Era.
I know. Why would they
no,
break
no,
him up?
I'm not.
Exactly.
I don't think they're gonna break them up on their way to Maine. They shouldn't. If they do,
they would be so dumb if they didn't
foolishness.
debut them in the biggest manner possible.
Oh yeah,
they would be foolish if they didn't.
Which means they'll probably debut a main event.
Yeah, probably. Is that the thing that we need to say so it doesn't happen?
Yeah.
All right.
We say the show main event, and they debut main event of WrestleMania.
In any event, I have I'll put it this way though, because the tag division is so crap, I have more confidence in a really, really good tag team making better waves than another singles male guy who on his own doesn't exactly have a shine through personality.
Oh, I understand.
And that's
that.
Roderick Strong.
But
so I guess that's my
his
central
in-ring
point.
work is just so exceptional. Like if his ceiling is Cesaro, that's not that bad.
It's a good ceiling. No, it's a good ceiling to have.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
And I feel like Roderick Strong has the capabilities to maybe have a stronger personality than Cesaro has or has shown.
They need to keep the Undisputed Era together, man.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They're so good.
They're so perfect together. Everything about them is perfect. Everything.
I don't speak loser.
You want to hear a joke?
Ricochet. They all laugh. I literally laughed out loud when he said that, dude. I laughed out loud when he said that.
Okay, next one from Delete, the Freak of Destruction. Let's see what Delete has to say.
All right.
What's up, Steven Larson? Freak Legion here. I'm Delete, the Freak of Destruction. My boy Buddy Love right there. Freak of Love. We got Loki somewhere around here. Hey, Nemo, you want to get in on this? Never mind. Anyway, my Matt Chat question for this week is, what faction was more influential? NWO in their prime or DX in their prime? Which had a better impact? You guys debate that? Too sweet. Hearty handshake. Out.
All right, where is that house party? I want to go.
That looks like fun.
Whatever those people are, I want to be hanging out with them.
I believe that faction, that stable, was the Freak Legion.
Oh, right. Or Nemo's Freak Legion, right?
Yeah.
Remember back when we were in our 20s, you just dick around at somebody's house?
Oh, yeah.
Not doing shit.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like they were doing.
I know.
There's a part of me that misses that. I love having a family. It's a lot of fun. I miss hanging out and just doing nothing.
I know. I know.
We don't get to do that enough. Anyways.
You go first.
All right. The right answer is the NWO. Come on. It's the most influential thing in the modern era. Give me a break. It's the NWO. They're the ones who started, Eric Bischoff, the genius that is Eric Bischoff, his true vision of the NWO, sort of playing with kayfabe a little bit, breaking down the walls, if you will. Of course, you've got Hulk Hogan in there. You've got motorcycles. You've got beauty pageants with, ugly women in
You're
them.
destroying your own argument, man.
Sold out as a classic pay-per-view, Larson. Riding around in garbage trucks. Not understanding, metaphors. I don't know. It's NWO, man. Everybody admits, they kind of made wrestling cool again, although
in hindsight, not really.
In hindsight, not really.
Unless dad jeans and tucked in shirts is your definition of cool.
And fanny packs, exactly. Those are coming back, though. I'm going to get one for StarCast, Larson. I'm totally getting a fanny pack for StarCast. Fine. And I'm going to put a Going in Raw embroidered patch on it.
Do what you want, man.
Okay.
I'll just walk. I'll just be on the other side of the room.
Yeah, but the NWO was around before DX. They kind of kicked Vince McMahon's ass into, updating his shit. It's like, oh, enough of these cartoon characters. We're now launching into the contemporary era where, all that kind of stuff. That cheesy speech he gave, freaking Vince McMahon. Anyways, it's the NWO. That's the answer.
DX is the answer.
They showed their assholes a lot, didn't they?
They did, especially the original incarnation. And if you think about like who were the personifications of the Attitude Era, of course they're Stone Cold, but then also DX. They were a bit lewd.
A bit. How many times did we see Shawn Michaels, like the outline of his 75% engorged penis?
Oh, a couple.
A lot.
At least.
That dude fluffed himself before every segment he was.
Well, he always wore those little tight shorts too.
Yeah.
They were edgy. They brought a unique sense of humor to WWE programming that hadn't been seen ever.
You sound like JR doing commentary back then right now. They're edgy, bringing a unique sense of humor
that WWE's maybe never ever seen before. They're lewd.
Wow.
They did a ton of bits with Sergeant Slaughter that were hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Jerry, I do believe I just saw Shawn Michaels' butthole.
I know the Too Sweet is the most iconic gesture in the history of wrestling, and that predates NWO. That's a Click thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But perhaps the second most iconic.
Half the Click was NWO.
But the other half was DX.
Yeah.
Perhaps the second most is the crotch chop.
Yeah.
And that has its origins with DX.
Yeah, okay.
We did one of our favorite gifts.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre pointing to somebody. Crotch chop. During the cage match against Braun Strowman, what did Kevin Owens do? Crotch chop. Said, suck it.
After Adam Mayhem won the H title, what did he do?
Crotch chop.
Yeah.
So you can't discount DX's influence. NWO might be the most influential, but don't shortchange DX. Hugely influential in their own right.
No, I absolutely agree with that. Next up, Joshua the Dynamic Knight Martinez he's returned. He was gone for a week.
He had a text question.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hey friendos, Josh Martinez back here again. Back from my week of hiatus. It was a rough week at work, so I decided just to write something instead of sending something in. A little disappointed Steven and Larson aren't down for the Devil's Lettuce, but that's cool. Probably a better choice. As far as my question goes, we always talk about the wrestlers from New Japan or Ring of Honor, the indies that we want to come to WWE. But if you had to pick someone or act that you don't want to come to WWE, who would that be? For me, it'd be the Elite. They're too good. I don't know if the E can handle them if they book them right. Just keep them on Ring of Honor, New Japan. But yeah, that's my choice. What do you guys think? Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you, Joshua.
I was going to say thank you, Joshua. Man, listen, here's the thing. Just because we said we're not going to get high with you in Illinois, in Chicago, doesn't mean we don't want to. It just means that we can't. Because I think it's illegal in Illinois.
Unless it's for medicinal purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then number two, we have to be on point. We have to be meeting people at StarCast. Don't say professional, because we are not that.
We have to be approaching professional.
Look, my finger's healing up pretty good.
You're obsessed with that.
Isn't that
Anyways,
crazy?
let's answer his question. Who shouldn't go to WWE? I go first. Kazuchika Okada should not go to WWE.
Oh, I agree with that.
They're not gonna know what to do with him. He's one of, if not the best storytellers in ring in the entire world. His character work is great, and I feel like the major reason why is due to his subtlety. So much of what he does is subtle. Slight little changes. I mean, like at Wrestle Kingdom this past year, what did he do? Bleached his hair again.
Okay,
there wasn't. There wasn't a huge deal about it.
Now his new.
I mean, his pants were far less subtle.
But
the whole idea of Okada Reborn was a subtle tweak on what we've seen, because it was, again, as we say so often with New Japan, it played against our expectations. He defended his belt successfully the entire previous year, but he'd gotten his ass beat match after match after match, but somehow managed to retain. And we thought the story was going to be, it's going to be the accumulation of injuries. They're going to take their toll, and Naito's going to win that belt. No. Okada showed up at Wrestle Kingdom refreshed, rejuvenated, and I don't want to say dispatched Naito with ease, but the match definitely lacked the drama that I thought was going to be involved in. Of course, I thought Naito was going to win too.
I appreciate that they've also kicked his character arc into Superdrive.
Yes, crisis confidence, man.
Performance anxiety now. That is great. Freaking A, dude.
It's fantastic. And
what a freaking, like, and here's the thing. I was about to say, what a risky thing to do. Within a span of a couple months, take a god and bring him back down to earth.
And have him try to figure out how things work now.
Yeah. Man, I'd never see WWE.
No, they're never going to do that in WWE.
They would never do that.
Never.
They would never do that. No.
And I mean, Okada works so well with how New Japan tells their stories.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's like the cornerstone of the whole promotion.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing, though. I wouldn't want Okada to go to WWE because I love him in New Japan, and he is so New Japan. Everything you just said is completely true. However, if he went to New Japan, I think he would. I'm sorry, if he went to WWE, if they storyline, and not storyline, but mainly storyline, rolled out the red carpet for him and treated him like an A-level guy, he would do just fine.
Oh, he'd probably do well, yeah.
Naito's mystique, I'm not sure how well that would translate in the WWE. That would concern me far more than Okada.
See, I actually feel the opposite. I feel like Naito's mystique would translate really well because
it feels more tangible, maybe.
Yeah. And also when the handful of shows, New Japan shows we've been here in the States, next to maybe Kenny and the Young Bucks, who gets the loudest pop is Naito.
Yeah, I know. I kind of worry that it would be lost on the people who aren't, which is I think the majority of the people in the crowd. It would be lost on the crowd, and creative wouldn't know what to do with it.
Well, I think also Naito's character is far more distinct than Okada's. I mean, like Okada's, the Rainmaker gimmick is he makes so much money for New Japan that he's the Rainmaker. He makes it rain money for himself, for the company, all that.
Yeah.
But it's in the subtleties of how he presents himself, Okada that is. Whereas Naito, he comes out, does the tranquilo,
well,
spits.
I've said this before. Like when you see Almas, you see probably what they would do with Naito. Like they're both LIJ, and they'll both have the tranquilo thing going for themselves. I kind of feel like that's what we would get. But I feel like Okada is handsome millionaire playboy who is, just the king, the god of wrestling. That's really that's really easy to figure out in WWE, you would think. Naito, on the other hand, I don't even know what is LIJ anyways.
Well, they're ungovernable.
Well, I get that, but like, what's their thing? They're cool.
Yeah,
they're super cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes WWE isn't.
Oh, they don't know how to do cool at all.
Like Finn Balor is the only guy there who's really actually
he's just
cool.
Naturally cool.
He's naturally super duper cool.
Yeah.
Naito might be naturally super duper cool. I'm not sure how well it would translate with an audience. I think Okada, that's more difficult to get wrong. I think that's just my gut saying.
So again, going back to a macro and a micro level, I feel like in a macro sense he might be right. They could present him like, for example, EC3. He's the wealthy guy.
Yeah.
That's his gimmick. They could do that with Okada. But I feel like if you get down to the details of it, they won't really know how to utilize his strength, his subtlety to its fullest, because WWE doesn't really do subtlety well.
Yeah.
Whereas Naito, he can present his character in much broader strokes, I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like with Okada, if they treat him like a big deal, that translates. With Naito, his character isn't really, I'm a big deal. His character is, who gives a shit? You know?
Yeah.
That's his character. I'm not sure.
It's apathy,
I'm not
essentially.
Sure, yeah, I'm not sure that would translate well. That's my gut.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it would.
Next up, we've got AO Worm with a question. Another Going In Raw Matt Chat Hall of Famer. Let's see what AO Worm has to say.
What's good, everybody? AO Worm here, back again, once again, with another Matt Chat question. All right, Steve Larson. So, in your opinion, who will be the next Grand Slam champion? So, in my personal opinion, I believe that John Cena will inevitably get the IC championship. But who do you guys think will be the next Grand Slam champion? I'm going to give you guys a list that's on WWE with everybody who's like one title away from being a Grand Slam champion. Let me know who you guys think will be coming next. All right, guys, take it easy. Too sweet, hearty handshake. I'm out.
Thank you, AO Worm.
Thank you, AO Worm.
We're in complete agreement with this. Next Grand Slam champion will be Kevin Owens. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. I thought they would have kept him and Sami Zayn together.
Yeah,
made a push for the tag titles on Raw.
Yeah, the only other, because there, like he said, there's a list on WWE.com that you can check out. The only person even close, number one, I don't think Cena would go after the IC title. That's not gonna. I don't. That's not.
There's only one title he cares about.
Yeah, that's number 17. Kevin Owens, like you said, he's one tag team championship away. That could easily happen.
Yeah.
The only person maybe in the realm would be Sheamus
maybe
for the Intercontinental Championship.
He's got the bum neck though,
and he's in a really good tag team.
I know.
And on top of that, if he leaves the tag, number one, they're on SmackDown, and if so, they're on SmackDown. If he gets out of the tag team, how would he make his way? I mean, if he goes back to Raw, I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of stuff to happen.
I know.
They're a really good tag team.
I know.
They're like a marquee tag team.
I know.
So I don't know. I don't see that happening. Yeah, it's Kevin Owens.
It's Kevin Owens.
And that's probably going to happen, I would say, it's not outside of the realm possible for that to happen in the next 24 months.
Oh, I would say the next 18.
Yeah.
Next, Minnesota Joe. Let's see what Minnesota Joe has to say.
Hey, friendos. It's Minnesota Joe here, back with another Matt Chat question. And I've been thinking about, who's the greatest wrestler of all time? And I came down to two people. Number one, Ric Flair. And the other guy, Kazuchika Okada. Those are my top two greatest wrestlers of all time, in my opinion. Like, sure, maybe in ring, Okada is better because, wrestling's improved since Ric Flair's time. But I think, promo, just personality, the way they present themselves, they're both just the best of all time. Along with their wrestling. This face, heel, doesn't matter. They're amazing. So I want you guys to debate and help me decide who's the best of all time. Ric Flair or Kazuchika Okada. Thanks, friendos. Too sweet and a hearty handshake.
Thank you, Minnesota Joe.
Thank you, Minnesota Joe.
Minnesota Joe looks like the kindest member of Bullet Club. Looks like a very kind member. He's like, hey, you're too sweet, eh? Anyways, best ever. I mean, it's probably Ric Flair. Look, here's the thing. I don't want this episode for me to be all anti-Okada, because I do think Okada is a wrestling god, and I love everything about him. With Ric Flair, so especially for his time, he was a best bout machine, And
he was doing it 300 days a year, if not more.
Yeah. And then in his documentary, he said something like he masturbated twice a day. I mean, come on. How's that not best ever? And then on top of that, he lived the character and those promos of his. And I love Okada's promos. They're a little difficult for me to understand because they're in Japanese and I don't speak that language. So maybe he's dropping Shakespeare. I have no idea. Ric Flair's promos were maybe the best ever. And so you combine best bout machine status with best promos ever status, and his huge number of championships that he held, and how often he did it, and how many buildings he sold out. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like it's got to be Ric Flair best ever.
All right, I'll try to make a case for Kazuchika Okada. I mean, if I'm looking in a historical context, I'd agree with you. Here's the thing I'd say about Okada. I talked a lot about his accolades earlier.
Sure.
The fact that this last title reign he's had, incredible matches across the board. I think he's a 4-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion. But here's the thing to remember: he just turned 30 years old.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He has a lot of career in front of him.
Yeah.
So while we can sit here and look at Ric Flair's accolades across the entire breadth of his career, we can't do that yet with Okada. Just seeing what he's done so far, I think they said he started wrestling at 23, in just 7 years already, is incredible.
He's like the Beatles of wrestling.
Yeah. So you got to think he's maybe got at least another 5 to 10 good years left in him, operating at a high level.
What year did Ric Flair start wrestling? 73?
Something like that, but he didn't win his first NWA title, I think, till 79.
So he was 30.
Okay. When he won the title the first time? Okay.
So yeah.
So I mean,
I
Flair
see
had
the point.
18 title reigns after he turned 30. Okada's already had 4 before he's turned 30. So I'm not quite ready to give the greatest of all time award to Flair quite yet. Of course, that argument stands for just about any time period, because it's entirely possible that in 5 years or 10 years we can someone will start wrestling or rise to prominence who eclipses Okada and Flair, and we just have to wait till see how their career plays out.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, if you're making a list of greatest wrestlers of all time, for sure Flair's on it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
greatest right now though is definitely Okada. Best storyteller, man.
Oh man, I agree with you.
Incredible storyteller.
Absolutely.
Accomplished a lot.
Yeah,
before he's even turned 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
He's like a wrestling god.
He is.
I like that time he froze before going to the ring.
Yeah.
That's seriously, I have to watch that now. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, next up we've got the sneakerhead of Going in Raw, DJ Mott. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Steven Larson. It is your Going in Raw sneakerhead DJ Mott here. If you guys had to make a Evolution faction with Roman Reigns being in the Triple H role and Triple H being in the Ric Flair role, what would be the 2 rookies or 2 other faction members that you guys would put in to the new Evolution faction? It doesn't have to be from NXT. It could be from the current roster. It could be a tag team, whatever you guys want. Anyways, too sweet. Hearty handshake. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, DJ Mott.
Thank you, DJ Mott. I'll go first. So we got New Evolution. We got Triple H in the Flair role, Roman in the Triple H role. I say give me Velveteen Dream and Buddy Murphy.
Okay.
That way you kind of got all your bases covered for all the men's divisions. You can have Roman tag with either of them. You got Buddy Murphy who can dominate the Cruiserweight division if need be. And Velveteen Dream could dominate at first probably the mid card and eventually enter the world title scene. You got Buddy Murphy and Velveteen Dream, both extremely athletic, plus extremely strong. Especially Buddy Murphy. He's like, I don't know, man. He seems like he has the strength of a heavyweight.
Yeah, man.
And barely a cruiserweight body.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure he might actually weigh over 205 pounds.
Oh, probably.
Oh yeah. Just the total package. Roman isn't the best on the mic, and we know Velveteen Dream can handle himself in that department.
Sure.
So he can compensate for whatever Roman's shortcomings might be in front of the crowd.
I want to see like a Roman Reigns promo, but done in the style of Velveteen Dream from this past week on NXT.
There you go.
I want to see that.
Big dog.
Big dog.
Yard.
Yard. Okay, so here's the thing. Triple H's two of his guys. You got Triple H, you got Roman. Give me Pete Dunne and give me Finn Balor.
Here's the thing. These guys should be leading factions, not members of factions.
Well, neither of them
Especially
are leading anything right now. That would be phase 2. They would then break off and do their own thing. Look, listen, nothing will beat our version of New Evolution.
Oh, that's the best.
And it's Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Pete Dunne, and then Triple H.
Yeah, that's the best.
That's the real New Evolution.
That's the best, yes.
Yeah, and you can see that on We Book Raw coming back at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
Next up, oh man,
Non-stop
you guys are
player.
in for a treat. Another question from the editing guru himself, Nonstop Player. Let's roll this tape. I'll watch it 3 times.
Going in Raw. All right. What are your top 3 least favorite finishers used in wrestling today? Thank you, Mr. Steven and Larson. Goodbye.
I'm telling you, man, Nonstop Player, he's going places.
Oh, yeah.
He is truly nonstop.
Yes.
And that message at the end, respect your elders, it's
Sage
confusing
advice.
And it's sage advice,
Yes.
but it's also very confusing.
I think he's talking about us because we're old.
Oh, maybe that's correct. Or maybe
think that
we
could
should
be
be
it.
the one to respect our elders. I don't know. Anyways,
you go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. My 3 least favorite finishers. Nobody seems to be able to do a spear correctly these days, with the possible exception of Kairi Sane. So I'll say the spear. I'm not a huge fan
But
of
it's
that.
not even her finisher.
What's that?
Anybody who uses a spear as a finisher, generally speaking.
Yeah,
It's
that's
no
right.
good.
Yeah. Charlotte has a decent spear, but again, it's not her finisher.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns uses the spear / Superman
I will say
punch combo.
Bobby Lashley's spear finisher isn't that bad because he does like a full somersault when he does it.
Yeah, nobody has a spear like Goldberg's old spear because I'm pretty sure he hurt people doing that.
Yeah, it could be.
Next up, I've got Mojo Rawley's new finisher, the Alabama Slam. I hate this move. I hate this move. I hate this move.
I like it when Drew does it, but it's backwards. So he drops them on their face.
Oh, I'm fine with that because, you can protect yourself really easily. Going backwards, man, that's a big arc right there.
Yeah, that's like 290 degrees.
Well, you're starting from here. Yeah, it's like 270.
Might be more than that because you're starting basically
starting,
perpendicular to
here,
the ground,
kind of, yeah,
and then you're going almost a full circle.
Yeah. So it's not good. And then my next one is the unprettier, also known as the kill switch, also known as Juice Robinson does
Pulp
it as
friction.
Pulp Friction, which the only reason it works in New Japan is because they sell the crap out of it. Like if you spike yourself when it's done, it's okay. It is the most awkward setup. I cannot stand.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot
that
of
might be
sense.
my least favorite because you like wrap the person around or something and then you go back like this. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. What
Spear.
Yeah.
Double underhook DDT. The only person who I feel does it well is Drew McIntyre because he kind of wraps his legs around the person as they fall. So there's a little more oomph to it.
Yeah.
But when Dean does it, can't stand it.
Mm-hmm.
I like this old finisher.
I didn't like it when Foley did it.
Yeah.
Either. Yeah.
Remember Dean's old finisher? We grab him like this and just drop him straight on their head.
Yeah.
Much better finisher.
Yeah.
And also Bad Luck Fale's grenade. He just like sticks his thumb like in a person's chest or something.
I can't stand that.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Bad Luck Fall's good because
it goes like this first.
Yeah.
It goes.
But the Bad Luck Fall's good. It's a razor's edge where he just drops him.
Yeah. No, I like that. No, I agree with you though. That's a terrible one. Next up from the enforcer himself, Stevie Bradley. Let's see what he has to say.
What's up, Steven Larson, all the friendos out there? It's your boy, the Going in Raw enforcer, Stevie Bradley, here with a question. Monday night we had 2 triple threat matches. Okay, but I was just wondering, the gears were going. What's the best multi-man single elimination match out there? Is it a triple threat? Is it a fatal 4-way, fatal 5-way, 6-pack? Octo-pack, 10-pack, what's the best one out there? And what number of those people could put on the best match? Like, let's say you say a triple threat's the best. What is the best main roster triple threat that we could come up with? And if you say a 6-pack, what 6 would be the best? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Too sweet, hearty handshake.
Thank you, enforcer.
Thank you, enforcer.
I go first.
You go first.
6-pack challenge, too many people. Same with 5. 3's good.
Yeah.
But I feel like the perfect number is 4.
Yeah, okay.
Because so often in a triple threat match, you got to take one person out of the equation so that the 2 remaining people can fight. And so for a large portion of the match, there's at least one person on the sideline. You don't have to do that in a fatal 4-way. You can just pair people off in various iterations. So there's always action. There's always people involved. And I think more than anything, that's why I like it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one just chilling out ringside, hanging out on the apron, act like they're selling or waiting for a moment to strike, which can at times be comical, but also
when they're trying to act like they're still hurting and they're
just waiting for their cue to get back in the ring,
watching the match.
Yeah. So give me a fatal 4-way. I think it's the perfect number for a match involving more than 2 people. easy to pair people off. You can do some crazy spots with 4 people because you have one more person than 3.
That's true. However, what you just described is essentially a tornado tag match, but with no allegiances. Give me a triple threat. Listen to this. When's the last time we had a 5-star fatal 4-way? There haven't been. Give me a 5-star triple threat. Okay. How about X Division, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles?
Are you sure that actually got 5 stars?
Yes, I am.
All right.
And then I don't know if it got 5 stars, but pretty damn good. WrestleMania, when Chris Benoit, who isn't all that good of a person, ended up winning the title with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Fantastic match. Triple threat matches, when done properly, can be transcendent. Fatal 4-ways cannot. They're too much of a cluster F. The answer is absolutely triple threat. I can't mention that. Never mind.
What?
I was going to give a spoiler for something coming up because that's going to be
that will be good.
Fantastic.
That will be good.
Yeah.
Next from Patrick Sparks. See what Patrick has to say.
Are there bees involved?
Hey, friendos, Pat here. All right, here's how this is going to go. With all this talk of cross-promotional stuff going on between like WWE, New Japan, TNA, Ring of Honor, all that stuff, what I want you to do is less of a debate, but more of a dual power rankings. I want both of you to come up with a power ranking of the best wrestlers, in your opinion, to wrestle in WWE, WCW, and ECW. With the caveat of let's take Stone Cold Steve Austin off that list because that's the obvious answer. And as a little bonus, why was Scott Steiner the best to wrestle in WWE, WCW, ECW, and TNA? You fat bastards. Thanks, friendos. Bye.
Thank you, Patrick.
Man, look, he's got that RVD shirt on.
It's a great shirt.
Good looking shirt there on Patrick Sparks.
Do you want me to go first since I have 5 wrestlers listed here, whereas you only have 1? I'll do it.
I forgot this is a power.
Number 1, Chris Jericho. He's possibly top 10 greatest ever. Number 2, I'm going to put RVD. He was in WCW for a short spell before he was actually Rob Van Dam, but he was still in WCW.
Doesn't count.
3 is Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that's a good one.
4, come on, Raven.
Oh, I'll put my number 2
And
here.
5, I kind of struggled with this one. So I'll say Shane Douglas. Of course, he was Dean Douglas in WWE. His time there didn't go terribly well. I don't think his time really was that great in WCW either. But he was always booked to be a champion in ECW, so that's worth something.
Oh, I love Shane Douglas. I think he's great. Here's the power rank. Chris Jericho, number 1, absolutely. Number 2, Dean Malenko, the Iceman.
Oh, hold on.
Number 3.
Hold on. Ditch Shane Douglas. Put Eddie Guerrero after Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I was going to say Eddie Guerrero. You can't just interrupt me and then give me one of my answers.
I didn't even notice that you wrote that there.
It's in huge letters. Of course you did.
I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't even
Of course you did.
Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, RVD, Mysterio, Raven. That's my 5.
No, you already said your. Oh, you already said your 5.
You could have Shane Douglas. I'll take Eddie Guerrero.
It's Jericho, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Shane Douglas, the franchise.
No, it's Jericho, Guerrero, RVD, Mysterio, Raven.
RVD doesn't count.
Sure he does. He was in WCW.
Not canon.
I mean,
he uses his real name, or he uses his real name.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
He was Chris Dijak there, not Dominic Dijakovic. He's going in Raw Wrestler of the Year.
Oh yeah.
Hey, he totally is.
I mean, there's no contest at this point.
No contest.
No contest. All right, next from our H champion, your H champion, everybody's H champion, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Adam Mayhem to the show.
Buenas tardes, friend of the University. Bienvenidos to another edition of the short version of Chit Chat with the Champ. Now, Stephen Larson, quick question. By the way, hi everybody. I know you don't like me here, but hey, hi. So, with Sarah Logan's weird-ass Viking gimmick coming to light this past Monday, I want you to debate weird gimmicks in wrestling that are kind of sort of grounded on reality, but at the same time, they're kind of like all over the place. So, pick one, debate, do your thing, and make your money. Sweet.
Thanks, champ.
Thank you, Adam Mayhem.
Real happy that you lifted your ban on The Office so we could shoot Matt chat questions here.
Well, if I knew he was going to cheat, I probably wouldn't have done that. Yeah, I don't just shoot your question at home. You don't have to come here.
Why not?
What a weirdo. Anyways, your answer is going to be the best.
I have two really good answers.
Well, no, there's only one only one of these is the right answer.
Yeah,
and that's the second one you have listed here. But we'll go over a couple of them. Number one,
don't take my first answer though.
Dentist is weird. That's
especially
Isaac Yankem,
implemented, yes.
especially because it was Kane. Number two,
why
IRS guy.
Why did the wrestling dentist have bad teeth?
I don't know, but they should have took up Isaac Yankem with Brock Lesnar.
At least I thought he had bad
They had
teeth.
was IRS a direct response to? No, that didn't make any sense because Vince wasn't under tax problems. It was a steroid thing. What, an IRS agent? What the hell? Like, why would anybody? That's not. I mean, it's scary financially, but like, really, an IRS agent? That's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Isaac Yankem. He looked like a weird Sid, huh? Like
yeah,
with that
kind
hair
of
right there.
blonde hair.
Anyways, your first answer is crap.
No,
your
the
second
first answer is good because in the early '90s, Barry Darsow, formerly of Demolition, took on a new gimmick of Repo Man, which he pretty much was just the Hamburglar.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, how many Repo men actually wear like the mask around the eyes to disguise their identity? I can't think of any.
Yeah, I don't even know how that would have been. Like, why? That's like you said, Hamburglar, but a burglar.
Yeah.
Would maybe do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like in a cartoon, yeah.
In a cartoon, yeah.
In real life, no.
A repo guy, like, I'm not sure what. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
Didn't make any sense.
Anyways, give the right answer.
The right answer is Sandman when he was a surfer.
Okay, here's the thing.
But let me make my case. The thing is, it's even weirder in context of his entire career.
Yeah, I know.
Because, like, when he was Surfer Sandman, he had the body glove suit and all that, and then, like, he tried to wrestle for real. As we know, that's not necessarily his strong suit. Because he went on to be Sandman, you know, the guy that drank all the beer and busted cans up on his head and made sure the people he was sharing his beer with were of legal drinking age.
Yeah.
You know, carrying around the kendo stick and beating people up and bleeding everywhere and all sorts of hardcore matches. But this is a guy dressed as a surfer, walking to the ring with surfboard.
Yeah. Wrestling
traditional wrestling matches.
Yeah.
Which, knowing what he did later in his career, is really bizarre.
Remember that episode? Didn't we Did we do a going in raw view of like an original Eastern Champion?
Yeah.
And they had like a 5 minute long
video
Sandman
package for Sandman, for Surfer
like
Sandman.
Doubling the footage, like they use like some of the same footage over
Yeah.
and over again. Okay, so here's the thing that's so funny about that is that I didn't even know about that until well after. Like, I didn't know about Sandman Surfer gimmick until the last, I don't know, a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
I might have known about it before, but I never saw it until the WWE Network put up episodes of Eastern Championship Wrestling. And I got to see it, and I remember it not being in my head and turning on late one night being like, oh man, I'm going to check out the first episode of Eastern Championship Wrestling because it's probably hilarious. It's so bad. And you turn it on and you see, and it's like, oh, that's right. He was and you see it, and having understood the context of his entire career, like you said, knowing who the Sandman is and what his deal is, and then seeing how he started as surfer guy is just weird. It's so bizarre because he does not like you. You're like, is he making fun of surfers? Is he gonna pop out a beer and like crash his surfboard on somebody's head? Because he doesn't look like a dude who can surf. Maybe he does surf. He probably does.
I have no
He's
idea.
probably an avid surfer. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Where is he out of again?
I'll double check.
Is there like a big surfing scene in Philly?
They're not on an ocean, so probably not.
Right.
But where's he from?
Where's he from?
Well, he's billed from Philadelphia. Oh, he was born in Utah.
Again, a landlocked state.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It is weird, though.
It is weird. Next,
what was the gimmick for Shane Douglas and Johnny Ace?
Oh,
skater dudes, right?
Yeah, what was their names?
Wasn't it something dudes?
Dynamic Dudes?
Was it Dynamic Dudes?
Something like that.
And they were skaters?
Something like that.
That's weird, too. They didn't actually skate, though.
Probably not. I can't imagine Johnny Ace ever touching a skateboard.
And on top of that, Johnny Ace always looked like he was hovering around 50.
I know. That's why I can't imagine him ever touching a skateboard. Ever. All right, next, new Matt chatter, John Lilly. Let's see what John Lilly has to say.
Hey, Stephen Larson, John Lilly here with my very first Matt Chat question. Halloween is coming up in a few months. It's my favorite holiday. And growing up, I always looked forward to the WCW Halloween Havoc pay-per-view. Not because, there's going to be classic matches, but just the promos, the commercials, just that overall Halloween feeling to it. Do you think WWE should be bringing that pay-per-view back for a network special or an NXT TakeOver special? Or should they just do what they did with Starrcade last year and just have it as a live event question? Too sweet, hearty handshake. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, John Lilly, and
Thank
welcome to the Matt Chat family.
Yes, welcome.
Bring back Halloween Havoc. Yes, please.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Spin the wheel, make the deal.
Listen. NXT last year for Halloween at a house show did a gimmick battle royal. Nikki Cross came out as No Way Jose. They all flipped gimmicks, and it looked amazing. Lighten up, have some fun, flip some gimmicks.
Even just make it a network special.
Yeah.
Just make it fun.
Oh, man. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, heck yes.
I would love that.
Absolutely. 100% yes. No debate here. We're in complete agreement. Yes, please. Next, TNA for Life. Let's see what TNA for Life has to say.
What is up, friendos? It is TNA for Life here for another Match Chat question. So for this upcoming 2K19, the two things that I want to see the most are General Manager Mode make a return and ECW superstars having a presence in that game, because they really haven't in the past couple of games. So Stephen Larson, I want to know, what would you rather see in 2K19? A stronger ECW presence in the game or General Manager Mode? Thank you very much. Too sweet. Hearty handshake. Peace out.
Thank you, TNA for Life. I wonder if
Thank you,
TNA for Life is looking forward to Slammiversary on Sunday. Saturday, Sunday? What is
Sunday,
it?
I
Sunday,
think.
probably. Anyways.
You want to go first?
I know I am. Yeah, GM mode. We had fun. I never uploaded it. I think I still have the file. I should probably do that. I don't know. Probably won't do well. But GM mode seemed fun when we were doing it. If it's a bit snappier. Here's the thing about GM mode. There needs to be a very limited number of load screens if they do a GM mode, because it's already kind of dry, like when we played it in SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah, the most fun part was the draft.
Yeah, exactly. So if they can make it so that it's like not as dry as like old GM modes, then yeah, maybe that could be cool. The thing about having, ECW talent or any talent at all in the game is, you can do that just in Create a Wrestler. You can just download it. I would much prefer them have. So like the last good showcase mode was the Stone Cold career showcase mode. I want them to do something like that again. That would be a lot of fun. But what do you think?
ECW talent, only if, though, we're talking ECW originals. I'm talking Eastern Championship Wrestling originals.
Yeah.
Johnny Hotbody. Of course,
God,
Surfer Sandman.
Yeah.
All the original,
super original
Eastern Championship Wrestling superstars.
Yeah.
I want a special game mode dedicated to that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like
Johnny
that a lot.
Hotbody was the first ECW Triple Crown champion.
Yeah. No, I know that.
He dominated early ECW.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish they would put this in freaking order. Listen to some of these names that came out of Eastern Championship Wrestling. The Anchor, AJ Power, the Canadian Wolfman. Let's see here. The Dark Patriot 2, the Death Rider, Derek Domino, Eric Anderson, Frank Cody, Jackhammer. Who else? John Rock, Jim Curry, the Lumberjack. I wonder, could Jackhammer and the Lumberjack form a friggin' tag team?
Yeah.
The Lumberjack Hammer?
Lumberjack Hammer. All right, we got one more from your Zodiac Killer, Steve.
Oh, no. Oh, scary.
Let's see what Steve Zodiac Killer has to say.
Oh, no. Very scary.
Hello, Stephen Larson. I've got another match chat question for you. Now, the Friendo Care package came through the post on Monday, and I'd just like to know which side should I pick, Mecha Santa or Top Notch Super Best? The only caveat is you've got to argue for the opposite. So, Steve, you'll be arguing for Top Notch, and Larson, you'll be arguing for Mecha Santa. Too sweet, hearty handshake, and I'd love to hear your answers, and thank you.
Thank you, Steve Zodiac Killer.
All right, so I have to make the case for why Top Notch is the man. Well, number one, first and foremost, and this has you beat. This has Mecha Santa beat, okay? Easy. Top Notch, listen to me. Top Notch is the only Friendo Unified Championship wrestler who has found a way to break free
He spans the multiverse, man.
of his video game constraints and make himself into an actual person who now goes by the name Chris Dijak.
No.
Dominic Dijakovic.
Dijakovic.
That's why, because he has found a way to cross over into the real world and become Chris Dijak. That's pretty much all I can say about him. He's kind of a turd, so you go ahead.
Oh, he's a turd, but he's great. As you mentioned, yes, Dominic Dijakovic bears a striking resemblance.
He really does.
To Top Notch. And so, if say you're a fan of Donovan Dijak / Chris Dijak / Dominic Dijakovic's work,
yeah,
you can put Top Notch up. It doubles as a poster for Dominic Dijakovic.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It serves two roles potentially. The only argument I can make in favor of Mecha Santa is that he defeated Top Notch for the H title in dramatic fashion.
Oh, yeah.
After Top Notch proved to be the only man who could defeat Mecha Santa. Mecha Santa got his win back. Kind of need a rubber match at some point. I don't know if it's going to happen or when it's going to happen.
We're going to do interdimension tension. It's just we're going to do it before the
next game drops.
Yeah.
But no, it's got to be, look at that. It's Mecha Santa. Do you want a Congress under him? Or do you want to hang out with this guy?
Yeah, dude, he's terrifying. He's pretty creepy too. They're both I'm very happy with those drawings though.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah, I did a pretty decent job.
No, but it's Mecha Santa. He's the last H champion of the interdimensional realm.
Technically, he has a Chris Benoit face on top of his face.
No, then Top Notch. Then
that's something to think about.
Then Top Notch / Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah, who doesn't want a picture of Chris Dijak in there, freaking of a cartoony bluish Chris Dijak in there?
Anyways, that's our show for the week.
That's our show for the week. Thanks so much for watching. And, of course, patrons, thank you very much. If you want to participate in Matt Chat and send your video question to us, you can do that. Patreon.com/Stephen Larson. $20 pledge. You can do it if you just want to do it for like 1 month. It's one $20 pledge. You probably get on 4 or 5 times, depending on how many weeks are in the month. And you also get the Friendo Care package, which is really great. You actually get that poster.
Whoops, I hit your mic. Sorry.
With the Friendo Care package. It's $20. It's a really great deal. Check it out. Until next time, talk to you guys later.
Bye.